So let me clear all the caching, the passwords, so that we have something. Okay, here we go. And I won't click Save Authentication because that's what I did last time, which saved the Capella credential. So what you will see is you will see a common error like this, which is that commit failed, because that user, as you can see, don't actually have access to this repository. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and add that user to have read access to this. That way you can see that it actually will have access and it'll work. So when I click Add, you'll be taken to the role assigner page. And I will grant test user trilogy test, which is what I used. So now you will see that trilogy test actually has SVN developer rewrite to this particular project. So if I come back to my file and I just do more changes here and then do a commit, I'm going to wait just a couple more seconds to make sure that our system synced that ACL file. And you'll see that that actually went and modified and made a commit into our system because ACL file security got updated and everything worked. Okay. So I'll stop there really quick just to see if there are any questions. Okay. Now, I just want to bring up a couple more things. If you look at the people, the roles, I just want to walk through a couple more of these default roles. To have admin access to all the services. So this is a very quick way if you want to grant admin access to track to any of the services, you could add this role for a particular user. All right, I see a question. Oh, I saw a bunch. Sorry, guys, I didn't scroll down, so I see a bunch of questions here. First one, what happens when you need to take permissions off a specific user and that person still has that information cached in your Tortoise SVN? Will that person still have access to the specific repository? Oh, I see. Very good question. Okay. So I think the question is the following. I just show how to clear the cache for the username and the password. So the way Tortoise works with our SVN repository is this. What I did in clearing the cache is clearing the password that's saved within Tortoise SVN, okay, which is separate from controlling security in our system. So when I removed, for example, Trilogy Test to have any access to the repository, even if the username and password is cached in Tortoise, they still won't be able to access that repository because in our system, we shut that access off. Okay? It's just, for Tortoise, it's just caching the username and password, so you don't have to continuously go back and enter username and password. Okay? Let me go to the next one. Let's see here. You said default creator owner has access. Default creator owner always has access. Can you change the owner? Yes, you can. So in terms of how to change the owner, there is no automatic way to do that at the moment. And the reason is because owner owns all the sort of access to everything. So we want to make sure we validate, make sure it's so we don't allow the automatic way to do this right now. So if you want to change the owner, the easiest thing for you to do is first make sure that you have created a user or a user already exists in the system that you want to be an owner. And then as the owner, you will file a support case with CVS Dude, and we will do that switch in the back end for you. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so yeah, the question was, but I noticed that you are still able to check in the text file after you revoke the user's permissions. Yes, correct, and the reason is because I use the owner account. So even though I revoked specifically in the security system the owner account, by default owner has access to everything, and that's why you saw that happen. But when I switched to the different account, which is Trilogy Test, that's when that's why you see the permission didn't work. And at the very end, remember, I added the Trilogy Test to have SVN read-write to the repository, and then we were finally able to check in. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so let me come back to here. So the administration role is a very useful role. So if you want to quickly bring access to administrator rights to all the services, you can do that. And we also have the SVN developer and SVN viewer role. These are very simple roles. They just give you write subversion versus read subversion, for example. And the finance role just gives you the ability to view billing. Now let's go ahead and go through a case where you want to create a custom role. Okay? So let me show you how to do that. So let's say you want a custom role which has a very specific set of permissions for all of our different services. So I'm going to call this a fake company names developer role. Now you will see here is that the really capability of our role-based security system is that before we had a role-based security system, you had to manage security in different areas in our services. So for example, if you wanted someone to have Bugzilla access or track access, you had to go into each of those applications to configure access. What we want to do is make it easier for you. To do that, we have given you a single unified security interface where you can manage security in one place. And this is what's happening here. So with this role, I can say, as a developer, I want them to be able to just manage users. No billing capabilities or permissions. I'm not using CVS, but I want them to have DAF, and I want them to have subversion read and write, and I want them to be able to access track, see the wiki, and just have access to Bugzilla to confirm and edit bugs, and that's it. So what I've done is, instead of going to 4 separate places to do permission, it just took me about 20 seconds to create a role across all those applications. And as we add more and more services to CVS Dude, you will have the same exact security model that will apply to all these services. So as we bring in more open source products to serve your needs, as we bring in Git and other, then you will have a single